Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do their thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
Capo Grande, Tony Cini, and you're listening to Wrestling IQ 101.
Hey everyone, this is Andrew from Wrestling IQ 101. When I'm not hosting our podcast, I'm usually at collarandelbowbrand.com. That's right, Collar and Elbow is the only place that combines wrestling with street attire. And I know what you're thinking, I want to look fashionable too, and I also want to save 10%. So head over to collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code WIQ101 and look fashionable and save some money. And now, on with the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew, and you can listen to Wrestling IQ 101 right here on YouTube. You can hit that subscribe button, and you can check out old episodes, new episodes like this one, and even ones that are coming out coming soon. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. And today I'm sitting with Jay Curcio, man. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm doing good. How about you?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. And, you know, Jay, here at Wrestling IQ 101, we ask some tough questions, but I'm going to ask you right now, probably the toughest one you've ever been asked. What flavor gum do you chew?
Oh, no one's actually asked this. So I actually only chew try gum. For some reason, it seems to be the gum that lasts the longest, before you get ready for the match and all that. It lasts the longest in the match because you obviously chew it throughout the whole match.
Yeah. Oh, wow, yeah. Is there a particular flavor that you like? Do you like mint? Do you like fruity?
So there's a sweetie mint one I'll buy, and then there's a cool mint one I'll buy. I don't do the fruity flavors. I'm not a huge fan of them. I feel like they lose flavor fast.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, you have, what is it, like 5? Have you tried 5?
I tried 5. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm used to the small stick.
Okay. Well, that's fair. That's fair enough. So, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, so now we know what kind of gum you chew, because, a lot of people noticed that right away. I remember, like, Shawn Donavan was like, I think he, like, slapped you one time and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, man, I hope you don't lose the gum.
Yeah, a lot of people that said, like, when I first started, it's just something, I always like to chew gum no matter what. And then, like, I would let it hang from my mouth for some reason, like, even in public. And then people would say, what are you doing that for? I go, I don't know. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to start doing it in wrestling. And people hate it, so it's great.
Yeah. Were you the kid, like, in school where it was like, don't chew gum in class, and you were always, like, sneaking it in?
I actually didn't start chewing it until I played college soccer.
Okay.
So that's when I really picked it up, and now I keep it all. It's like with my phone, a pack of gum.
Oh yeah, I do that too sometimes. And how was soccer? I mean, we see like the World Cup; it's always a big thing. Did you enjoy playing soccer? Do you still like playing it?
Oh my God, absolutely! I enjoy watching it too. Right now, actually, the Euros are going on. So now I'm spoiled with games, like, they start at like 9 a.m., so I'll wake up that early and watch soccer games from 9 till 5, pretty much.
Oh, wow, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I always get excited for some good old soccer game. It's on, like, Peacock and, like, Paramount. They have soccer games throughout, like, the day sometimes. And I'm like, oh, man, I gotta check it out.
Yeah, I just started the Peacock thing. I watched it for 205 Live to see Joe Gacy.
Yeah, how exciting is that, right? And you were actually in the ring with Joe Gacy, right? Before he got signed.
Joe Gacy actually got me into CZW where I started training. So I've known Joe for quite a long time.
Yeah, he's a fantastic guy. He really is. And, I mean, you see all the hard work. I mean, I know like, all the stuff. I mean, I get to see sometimes what they do backstage, and I could see like him just really, he really gets it. He really understands like the psychology of wrestling, and what a fantastic guy. And that's awesome that he helped break you into CCW.
Yeah, Joe's someone that I follow a lot around and ask a ton of questions with. He's definitely one of those guys that I'm glad to be friends with in the business.
Yeah, and what a good guy too, because you don't want to make him mad. He's a maniac, so.
No, absolutely not. No gimmick. He's a maniac. That's why he's a maniac guy.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen him do some crazy things in that ring. Also, I saw in an interview that your first match, right, was with Adam Cole, one of them.
Yeah. So my first ever professional wrestling match was with Adam Cole, Bebe.
Damn. I mean, that's...
Yeah, the guys I trained with at CZW as well. I was very spoiled within that training class. It was Joe Gacy, Adam Cole, Sammy Callahan, Black G's, Drew Gulak.
Yeah, right? It's a who's who, right? And like you can't get any better than like Black G's, former JP champion, still JP champion. Drew Gulak, I mean, that guy is just somehow... He gets better every time he goes out there. It's amazing.
Every single time, it's insane. I'm glad to be trained by him in Black G's. I definitely can't be more happy and lucky with who I was trained by.
Yeah, and how awesome is that? Like Black G's, I mean, he's with the NWA right now. I mean, like Power. I mean, that's just awesome. You can check him out on like YouTube and stuff like that. I mean,
yeah, he's someone that shows you that there isn't no timeline to this.
Yeah, it's true. Him and like Dan Moff, right? I mean, it was only 2 years ago he went back to Ring of Honor, right? I mean, how crazy is that? I mean, 15-year plus career. So,
there's no age limit on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
For everyone listening.
So I also heard you say that Rock versus Austin at 17 is your favorite match. Is that still holding up today?
Absolutely. It's what makes wrestling, like anything from the Limp Bizkit Byway music video for it to just watching those storylines like that. Everybody had like Flair, Hogan when they were growing up. Like me growing up, like I'm 29, but the pinnacle of me loving wrestling was Rock and Austin.
Yeah, they were great. I mean, I remember for me, it was Brett and Michaels at 12, but yeah, I mean, then it evolved to Rock and Austin for me because as a kid, it changed so quickly for me.
The Attitude Era was definitely where it was at.
Yeah, it was fun. It was an incredible time. Everyone talks about dream matches, and you've had some great matches. We'll get to them in a few minutes. But do you have a dream opponent? Is there somebody that you really want to face?
I definitely have people I set my eyes on, but if I had to choose one dream match with anyone, current or... I would have to say I would love to go against Adam Cole again, but if I had to pick one, I would probably pick AJ Styles. Wow,
that'd be a great matchup for sure. Yeah, I could see that.
He was one of the guys I started watching at Ring of Honor when it was at the Armory in Philadelphia. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's awesome, and it's pretty crazy because I feel like AJ Styles. I mean, I see some similarities when he's being cocky and then you get in the ring and you're just as cocky sometimes to your opponents and the fans, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's definitely one of the people I definitely base my character off of. I mean, you could see a lot of similarities between, him, Adam Cole, Finn Balor. I mean, those are a lot of guys I base what I do off of.
Oh yeah, I can see a little bit of the Finn Balor. That's kind of neat. And it's pretty awesome because every wrestler has some fun ribs or something like that. Do you have any fun rib stories or any good advice that you've been given over the years?
Fun ribs. I mean, training there was a few times where they were breaking us in when I first started. I remember one specifically. It was CZW and WXW did a show together. And my trainers, they said, and I'm like 6 months in, so I mean, you listen. That's how it is. You do what you're told. And I remember Thumbtack Jack walking around, and my trainers telling me, said, "Hey, every time he stops to talk, no matter who he's talking to, you follow him and you just start doing Hindu squats." And Thumbtack Jack had no idea about it. So after like 3 or 4 people, he just started laughing. I remember some people just like freaking out, like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm just doing what I'm told."
That's hilarious. And that's pretty good. And then as far as advice goes, has anybody given you good advice over the years that keeps you grounded and humble and focused?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you never settle. You never want to get too comfortable, because if you get too comfortable, there's no room for improvement. So, I mean, I'm my biggest critique, I would say. I mean, half the time I'm done a match, I either don't want to watch it, or I just go, "Oh, I should have did this, I should have did this." So, I mean, that's one thing that I always bring with me, but, I mean, always keep your ears open is probably the biggest one. Your mouth closed and your ears open.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, and, a lot of wrestlers, they have something similar to that. So, and it's proven, because those are the ones that when they listen to it, right, you get the most out of it. So it sounds like you have a pretty good foundation there. And speaking about the foundation, you're part of the foundation.
Yeah. Is there? I like that. Clever.
Yeah. And, talking about the foundation, so it's you, Just Lance, Kurt Bale, and Dilf Boy Daltano. I mean, you can't get any more different personalities than the four of you, but somehow you guys click.
And I think that's what makes us click, that we're so different.
Mm-hmm.
You have me, who just, I just do my own thing. I do what I want. I express how I feel like expressing it. I mean, and then you have Kurt and Lance, who fit perfect, because they're they're two of the hardest workers, and people don't see it behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And that's why I took them under my wing, because I feel like they deserve that shine. They deserve that moment, and they weren't getting it by themselves. So they needed to step it up, and I'm glad they did, because I love working with them, because they need to show the world, whether they have to take it on their own or not. As you can see, they do it however they feel like it, but they deserve it. And then you have Dilf, who's just Dilf's in his own little world, and he does what he wants, but it doesn't work out. But he still fits perfectly. And he's still alive after Boardwalk Buzz, so that's good too.
Yeah, oh my God, right? I mean, I remember he made like a post right after, right? He's facing Schlack at Boardwalk Buzz, and he's like, "I almost beat him." I was like, "What match? What match were you in, bud?" But it was a crazy match.
I was scared for him going out there with him.
Yeah, I was scared watching him. And I wasn't even watching it live. I watched the clips. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, that was definitely a great weekend.
Yeah,
did an awesome job.
Yeah, Boardwalk Buzz was absolutely fantastic, and hopefully there's going to be a second one. It looks like looming, so I'll have to figure out when that is.
Yeah, absolutely, I can't wait for it.
Yeah, and talking about big matches, because you have one. I feel like you're on this climb here. I mean, and matches are just getting bigger and better for you. I mean, not too long ago, you were in the ring with Shawn Donavan. I mean, the Messiah of Old School for the championship. I mean, that's pretty big.
Yo, absolutely. It was definitely a great experience. I was very close, but he hit me with his combo once again. I wasn't prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's what I mean with time. Like, especially with wrestling, now's my time. It's something that I'm going to make known, and I'm going to show the world that this is where I belong, and I'm here for a while. So get ready, especially with some upcoming matches as well.
Yeah, and that's awesome, because he is such old school, and he has like, I don't think Shawn Donovan has any like hobbies outside of wrestling. I think it's just wrestling, eating, training, wrestling. But talking about hobbies, are there things that they're like that you like, or is there a certain show? I know you like fishing is a big thing for you. I've seen you get some big fish. Is there certain movies, music, or shows that you like?
Outside of wrestling, man, it's just it's fishing, the gym. It's all I have. So when I get away from wrestling, I fish.
Okay.
But besides fishing, I eat, sleep, and breathe professional wrestling, and I'm here to show the world, whether they like it or not, that I'm here for the long run. So take a seat back and watch me chew my gum.
Yeah, and that's kind of impressive, because people that are focused on it, I always feel like do the best and always progress more. And talking about progressing, I mean, you're taking another big step. In just a couple of weeks, as we're recording this, you're going to be in the ring in a fatal 4-way with Rep Titus, KTB, and Casey Navarro. I mean, these guys here, I mean, they're killing it right now. For either an ROH or AEW, wherever they go. And now you're going to be stepping in the ring with them. You feel pretty good?
I do feel good. Like I said earlier, I mean, it's not a mistake. It wasn't just throw them in. I deserve to be in that spot, and I deserve to show the world that I can hang with the big dogs. And
I agree.
Once I come victorious that day, they're all going to take a seat back and then just watch me climb.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I mean, Rep Titus is on like the roll of his lifetime right now in ROH. Casey Navarro and KTB, I mean, they're killing it everywhere they go. And now here you are. I mean, you've been killing it now for a while here at like Standalone Wrestling and other places you've been. And so it's gonna be, they're gonna have their hands full with you, I feel like, too. So if people want to go check that match out, it's gonna be July 24th, and now it's in New Egypt, right?
Yes. July 24th, bell time's at 2 p.m.
Wow. Yeah, so you want to get there for that 2 p.m. bell time. You're going to want to stay there because it's going to be a fantastic match. It might even be, and you're no stranger to the main event of a show, because at Mega Slam, you and the Foundation took on the program. I mean, how awesome was that to close out the whole show?
Oh, it was astonishing. It was surreal. Like it's one of those things that don't hit right away.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like I stated, I mean, we're not here by mistake. We're here for a reason, and that's the reason. And the reason why we're being put in these situations is not only because we deserve to, it's because we're that it factor.
Yeah, and it shows, because like that was a great main event. I remember, I was like, how the hell, like, I was like, if this place had a roof, it would definitely blow off. This place would start crumbling. I mean, luckily it was outside, and that's awesome. They combine you guys and the Foundation. In the program. I mean, what a matchup! What on paper you're like, man, this might be a little. Everybody here has so many different personalities. It's crazy, but it worked. It worked out really well.
Yeah, man, the Foundation's here to make a name wherever, whenever, however.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that people remember is the Foundation.
Yeah, and it's working. Being part of the Foundation, where do you see the Foundation in the future, and where do you see yourself individually?
The Foundation has a future. I see us continuing to take over federations. Next up, we all need some belts, so that's going to have to happen soon, whether people like it or not. As an individual goal, man, as long as I can keep progressing and I can keep climbing and just prove that I'm here and that's it, then I'll be proud. I mean, of course, if one of the big feds want to use me, then that's great. But it's nothing's given to you. It's all deserved, and especially with wrestling, it's hit or miss. So it's something that you always got to stay humble with. I mean, there's a million wrestlers, and they're all phenomenal. So
yeah, it's true, and that's awesome that you have these goals in mind. Have you thought about like doing commentary or being like a manager later down in your career, or is that something that's way too far from now?
Man, that's like I said. There's no timeline with this. So I'm going till the wheels fall off.
Wow. Hey, that's pretty awesome. It's good to hear. It's good to hear because it looks like, and watching your matches, it looks like you take calculated risk. You always look like you know what you're doing, and I always appreciate that you're gonna try to beat your opponent and give it your all. But and it's awesome because you have such a great persona that the people hate you sometimes. Do you like that feeling of being hated? Do you want to be eventually loved by the people?
I used to think, I used to want them to cheer, but now I honestly just think it's jealousy. I mean, everybody wants to be Jay Curcio, so that's what I've came to understand, and that's what I've just rocked with. I mean, if you want to be jealous, then take a seat. If you want to hate it because you're jealous, then do something about it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and you've had a couple people try to stand up to you over the years. J.J. Adams, Jeffrey Bravo, Gabriel Sky, Slayer. I mean, you've been in the ring with so many great people. You have a favorite one of those opponents?
What was that again?
You've been in the ring with so many people. You have a favorite opponent?
I really liked Gabriel Sky. He's very hard hitting. He pops stuff out of nowhere. So I've actually worked him quite a few times, and he's definitely up there with one of my favorite opponents. J.J. Adams is another one that just came out of the woodwork and just was hard hitting. And the high flying guys, they like to try new things, and it tests me and keeps me on my feet to make sure that I'm able to either counter it or stop it from happening.
Yeah, and I was watching one of your matches with him, Gabriel Sky, and I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. Like, the two of you guys just clash up so well. But you're a Philly guy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a New York guy. Jersey, New York kind of guy. Who makes a better cheesesteak, Pat's or Geno's?
Oh, well, if you're from Philly, it's neither. It's like a tourist attraction.
Okay.
So if you're from Philly, you got to go to Steve's.
Steve?
Steve's Prince of Steak.
All right.
It's the best place in Philadelphia to eat a cheesesteak.
All right.
Yeah, if you visit it, you can't go to Pat's or Geno's. They're tourists. They're just there because it's the name.
Mm-hmm. That's funny because everybody I ever talked to always says, "Yeah, you don't want to go there," but it's always funny to hear you got like people from Philly say, "Nah, that's not where you want to go." But and this is a more serious question: Wawa or Sheetz?
Oh, that's a good one. So I'm going to be a little biased because I've never been to Sheetz.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I've never been there either.
Been to it.
I have to admit, I've never been there.
I got to say, people are going to yell at me this because they see it. I eat Wawa 4 or 5 times a week. It's disgusting, but there's something about it. I have a love-hate relationship with Wawa.
And that's funny because I had to cut myself off because I was kind of doing the same thing. I was like, this is bad. Like, this is really bad.
It's everywhere. They have so many options.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but like the breakfast is like banging.
Oh my God! Especially if you get the breakfast at the screen, you get like a burrito with a hash. Oh my God!
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's true, right? I mean, how good? I love the hash browns there for sure, and I like they have like at the biscuit by the register.
Oh my God!
I'm like,
for 2 for $3, you have to eat 2 because one's like $2.50.
Yeah, it's true, right? I'll take one for like breakfast, and then I'll have the second one later in the day for like lunch. I'll heat it up, but I'm like, yeah, you gotta do the two for whatever it was. That's crazy, man.
You have more because I'm both then and then just have to go to the gym extra.
Yeah. It's crazy because I know you said before, about dream opponents. Somebody who's not with us anymore. Do you have one wrestler that Pat from the past that you would love to hang out with and wrestle with?
That's not with us?
Yeah.
Good question.
I always feel
there's one that hit me.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 actually. Mm-hmm. There's one I actually did get to meet a few times, but I was brand new, so I never got to talk to him, and that was Danny Havoc.
Wow.
But I've heard nothing but great stories. I still to this day hear phenomenal stories about him. But if I pick one that I've never met, it would probably be Brody Lee, because just hearing everything about him like that hurt me.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I grew up watching JP wrestling. I was there at JP, and he was one of the big stars. And I would see him in passing. I never really spoke to him. and I was like, damn, like it kind of always sucked because I was like, Facebook and Twitter wasn't like really big, so I never got like a photo with any of these guys. But I grew up around these guys like all the time, like Kenny Omega, like Luke Harper, Brody Lee. Yeah, man, Brody Lee and you would have been an awesome match. I was thinking like Eddie Guerrero too. I feel like you guys would just clash so well.
Oh my God, that's a guy where I don't know, like it would be great.
Mm-hmm.
He's just Jesus. He was one because I think I was like 12 years old, and I remember when he passed away, and I remember watching Raw and crying, and my parents were like, "What are you crying for? Wrestling's fake." I'm like, "You don't get it."
Yeah, right. And yeah, it was really emotional. It was really out of nowhere when he passed away, for sure. Yeah, but I could definitely see you hanging out with, like, wrestling him and holding your own and stuff like that, especially because he was such a slimy heel, and then I feel like you're just a cool heel. Like, it would just be, like, an awesome, like, matchup. Like, I would love to see something like that for sure. But
that would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be kind of neat. And, you know, it was kind of cool because you've actually wrestled Kurt Bale. How's it going from wrestling him to teaming with him?
Oh man, I did wrestle Kurt. I wrestled him once, and I was very happy with the match. And then after seeing that and just the hard work, I was like, this is a guy that I need to bring into this team because this guy's not getting what he deserves, and we're going to take what we deserve, what we earn. It's not even what we deserve anymore. We earn this, and nobody's recognizing it. So it's something that we just need to grab by the horns and take it by ourselves.
Yeah, and I really respect that you guys have that mindset that you really want to go out there and grab the ball for yourself, because it's such good attitude for a wrestler to have that mindset. And I saw on Facebook that you took a picture with X-Pac. How was meeting him? Did you guys get to talk about your career or give you any advice? Did he?
So I was a manager at Uno Chicago Grill in Chester, PA.
Mm-hmm.
I had a few cooks that were huge wrestling fans, so they loved it. And I remember they went out to the bar because X-Pac actually lived in Chester for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he lived there for a few years. So they're like, yo, X-Pac's at the bar. I was like, no, he's not. And I was like, I just gave him his food and talked to him. We just talked around for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't be an indie wrestler, but I'm not one of those guys where it's like, oh, man, yeah, let me do this, let me do that. What should I do? It's cool to just, sometimes those guys just like to just talk. Some people like to talk nothing but wrestling, but some people like to just talk. So that was cool.
Yeah, and what a great guy he is, X-Pac, you know. And so that's awesome that you got to just talk with him and hang out with him for a little bit.
Yeah, it was definitely a cool moment because like those guys are getting hounded down, whether they're at the airport, at a bar, anywhere. They're getting hounded down with a million questions, pictures, autographs.
Yeah, it's true, right? I mean, sometimes they just want to just relax and get away like everybody else. So you said earlier before you alluded to that fishing is one of your hobbies. What's the biggest fish that you ever gotten?
So a few years ago, one of my biggest fish were a striped bass. If you're familiar with fishing, which actually KTB is, we talked about it a little bit. They run up and down the East Coast between March and end of April-ish, so you have a small window to catch those really big ones. So, I mean, when they're around, I probably put 40 hours a week in fishing alone.
Wow.
To try to catch that. That one was 41 inches and about 25 pounds. And then my second biggest one was this. Well, it's bigger, but it was a flathead catfish. It was about 30 pounds.
Wow. Yeah, it's a workout in itself, right? Fighting with those fish.
Yep. And for everyone asking where I catch it, because they always do, I'm not telling you.
Wow. Yeah, you got to keep the secret to yourself.
Absolutely.
Do you capture the fish and then do you release it back, or is that dinner?
So, when I fish the ocean, I usually keep them because I love to make fish tacos.
Okay.
But when I fish locally, I release them. Number one, because the rivers around here aren't too clean. And number two, I just want to see them grow to get bigger.
Okay, cool. That's cool. So, you know, being a fisherman, mean, how did that start, and how do you learn about fish? Because honestly, I have no idea about fishing.
So I actually started fishing because my father used to fish,
Mm-hmm.
and then a few of my best friends actually fish too, and that's how I met them. And then it's just one of those things where if it's the time's right, usually in the summers, just down the shore because it's too hot.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we ice fish in January, February if it gets cold enough, and then March is when it's game on. So you just suck it up, and if it's cold, you just be cold, and then in the fall is really good too.
Wow, yeah, it's kind of crazy because I honestly don't know anything about the season of fish, how all that works. So it's pretty cool that you've mastered the waters, and it's pretty cool. Do you like to go out on the boat, or is there like a dock that you like to stand on? I mean, how do you like to do it?
So I do a lot of freestyling fishing, which is just walking around, finding spots, looking up the rivers on Google Maps and stuff. But if I'm in the ocean, I definitely don't mind going out on a boat and just riding the waves, enjoying the tan. Yeah.
Is there a certain fish that you want to capture? Is there like the jaws that you want to reel in or something like that?
So personal goal, if I had to pick one, one would definitely be muskie, which is a freshwater fish. They're usually about 55 inches.
Wow.
They have teeth and all, so it's pretty wild. But if I had to pick one to go for, I would love to fish for tarpon in like Florida. I think those are some cool fish.
That is pretty neat. Yeah, you wear gloves when you do it, or you just like bare hand, like because some of those, like you said, some of those fish have teeth, like pretty sharp teeth.
Yeah, no gloves here, man. You just got to be careful, and then especially with the lure in their mouth too, it definitely gets you're playing games.
Yeah, I remember one time as a kid, some kid got like a fishing hook in his foot, and it was like squirting out. I was like, oh man, I thought I was gonna pass out. Then, but yeah, so those things can be sharp. They hurt. So, and especially with some big jaws. I mean, luckily, it seemed like you're okay. You haven't really had any real injuries, right?
I had a few cuts here and there just from, because even the ones that don't have teeth, they have very like rigged lips, rough lips. So if you kept enough of them, I mean, they start to wear on your skin. But it's just battle wounds. It comes with it. So it's actually like an appreciation. It's like, well, I had a good night, obviously.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive that you could do that. And you're wheeling in these big monsters. It's probably helping you slam some of these wrestlers in the ring and carry them from whatever you're going to do to them. So it's pretty impressive.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if I could pick up a 30-pound fish, I could pick up a 30-pound Casey Navarro.
Yeah, and you're going to have a chance to do that because you're going to be in the ring with him. And, of course, that's going to be a huge matchup, and the Trifecta is presenting that, and it's going to be July 24th, and it's going to be you, Rep Titus, KTV, and like you alluded to just before, Casey Navarro. Man, it's going to, he likes to call himself blessed, but and some of these other guys, they might be counting their blessings being in the ring there with you, so they have their work cut out for sure.
No, absolutely. It's definitely going to be a show stealer of a match. And that's one of the reasons why it was put together. So it's you're getting your money's worth alone just with that Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah. Are you gonna? Do you have some tricks up your sleeve? Are you gonna be the foundation is gonna like shield up the ring? Get all three sides of the ring and help you out, or is that something that's to be determined?
It is to be determined. I'm sure something I can do it on my own. Lance is hurt right now, so hopefully he gets better and he's okay. And I'm sure the other two will have their hands full as well. So I mean, we're grown men. We can take care of our own business.
Yeah, sounds like it. And like real quick, because you've been in various types of matches, like battle royal, singles matches, right? Tag matches. Do you have a favorite style? Do you like just being the main attraction, like solo?
I mean, there's a reason why I am it. So I kind of just take it for what it is with that. I mean, I like to be the showstopper, as one would say, or showtime, or the main event, or the glory of the show. I mean, I'm the mouthpiece of standalone wrestling because of that. So,
is there
I'm there for the main.
Yeah. And is there a certain type of match that you haven't had yet that you're just dying for?
There's a few that I would definitely like to do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the one next week with Brando Lee, I believe his name is, and Aunt Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's gonna be high flying, a lot of hardcore hitting, a lot of crazy action.
Mm-hmm.
The Fatal 4-Way is definitely going to open up my book and make me do crazy things or make me just be unpredictable. Because that's going to be my best way to win that match. Just because it's 3 other different styles of wrestling. I mean, you have Rhett, who does the pure rules.
Yeah.
You have KTB, who's just a monster.
True.
And then you have KC, who can throw anything out of his bag at any given time. So I just have to be on my toes and be prepared for the unpredictable.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've done the hardcore stuff. I'm capable of doing it all. It just, there's a time and place for it, and if it's right, then I can do it.
Sure. And that's going to be the key, because that's going to make you hope you stand out, because if you could do like a cage match or a hardcore match or ladder match, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that's going to keep propelling you. And your single game, I feel like you captured the essence of that, because I feel like the people hate you and you're doing your job because people are hating on you, and you're still winning. I feel like you're winning a lot more, and you're getting big time matches with like Shawn Donavan, who's the champion right now, Brandon Kirk, or I just feel like you're just on this trajectory that each match you're just climbing to where, like you said, where you want to be in wrestling, and I think that's a great thing.
And we have a victory over the Rep too. You can't forget that.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like the Rep. So I feel like you guys are. I feel like you're really on par here, and like you said, things don't just happen by accident. You worked hard. You deserve this match, and I feel like that's going to be the trajectory of going forward. I feel like you're going to be in some big time matches for sure, and I'm looking forward to seeing where you progress. I know our listeners are going to be like, wow, like where is this guy going to be next? And can you tell people where they can get you on social media, how they can follow you on social media, and so they can follow your career like I am?
Yeah, absolutely. So my Facebook is Jay Curcio. My Instagram is Jay_Curcio. And then I'm not a big fan of Twitter. It's definitely something that I should start using more.
Yeah.
But Facebook and Instagram are definitely the top 2. And definitely follow both of them, because I could promise you that there's some big things coming up.
Well, yeah, you gotta stay tuned to this guy right here, because I think he's the future here. He's definitely the mouthpiece of Stanville Wrestling, and for us, this has been Wrestling IQ 101. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. You can listen to us here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. You can check out past episodes, current episodes like this one, and even the future ones that are going to be coming out soon. And Jay, we really want to thank you for taking out the time, and everybody else, we will see you very soon.
Absolutely, man. Thank you a lot. It's been a pleasure.